I would like to introduce Philipp. Philipp, CEO of Balton Trading Asia. And Philipp, if you can introduce to the audience a Balton business and talk a bit about what was done and what was implemented for Balton business, would be great to hear.
Sure. Thank you, Leonid. Hello, everyone. So as I said, I'm Philipp Gorbunov, CEO of the largest FMCG distributor in Uzbekistan. So meanwhile, you probably start Googling where is Uzbekistan and what it is. So I'll make it a bit simpler for you. It's a great country, blessed with sun, fruits, great people, rich history, high gold reserve. So up until 5 years ago, it was blessed with everything but economy. All right. So before it was southern frontier of Soviet Union, and then the next 25 years was a very isolated and economically stagnant country. And however, nevertheless, even there used to be business, and we as distributor have been in the market for almost 30 years. However, and we're very proud not only for the lengths in the market, we partners with such companies like Nestle, Colgate, Palmolive, Bunge. So we do represent a lot of great brands and great companies here on the ground. So as I said, about like 5-6 years ago, the situation drastically changed in Uzbekistan. So the new reforms brought some air and good economy growth. I think since then it was annual growth was usually on GDP level about 5-6% every year, including COVID years. I think it was one of the very few countries that had economic growth during COVID. And that's an environment we operate in, and I think we took it hand in hand with the country economy. So we grew rapidly over the last 5 years. We tripled our revenues. We've went nationwide distribution from a primarily capital Tashkent-based company. So we increased the number of warehouses from 2 to 10, number of partners. I think number of our SKUs went from 300 to over 2,000 in several years. So as everyone was saying, no doubt we live in a very volatile environment, but I would say Uzbekistan is probably specific even in this sense. And such a business growth brings some challenges. Rapid expansion, brings a lot of challenges. It was for us very fast, and I would say very furious. Of course, we say it's a good problem to have when you grow and your growth bring you some challenges. It's challenges which you like to solve. However, as we say, appetite comes with eating. So once on this journey, which was concentrated in a couple of years, operationally, it's really a huge scaling for our company. As I said, 5 times more warehouses, 7 times more SKUs. It comes to lots and lots of processes. So, and then, you do one thing, you do another thing, you do a third thing, and then somehow Excel crashes. Of course, it's not only about this. I mean, it's one of the signs that there are some things you need to change. But that was one of the first triggers for us that we went so like huge in our granular, very small transactional level that we wanted to do a big change. Because it's, I think I've mentioned the number of warehouses, number of regions. We do serve over 17,000 outlets in the country and doing like more than 5,000 orders a day on a very granular level, right? As a distributor to a primarily traditional trade market, we do smaller orders. Our minimum is an equivalent to $10. So it's like really lots and lots and lots of orders, picking goods coming in and out of the warehouse, which we somehow need to plan. And that's at some point what we realized, and started looking for a solution. We also had an idea that with such a drastic changes, we might not even survive this huge growth over several next years if we don't do a leapfrog in the processes. So we went to see what's available on the market, and somehow went to see Anaplan in the demos, and in the end made our choice here together with the implementators. Leonid was head of our implementing partner. For us, was quite interesting to see. It was one of I think it was definitely first one in Uzbekistan, and one of the first implementations in Central Asia, which was a risk to me. I would usually be a second one to try. There's some successful experiences, but here was somehow so very much specialized tool and people with a good expertise. So when you see partners projecting confidence and experience, at some point you start reevaluating risks, and that's what we did here on implementation. I think the same as with the previous example of Michelle and Unilever was quite fast implementation. We went below 6 months with quite an meaningful effort from our side. So I think it was really both sides that did their best in order to do a smooth transition and smooth implementation. And then several months after we started using it, so it was a great user experience in terms of time for planning, and I think we have it in the right chart of the right part of the slide. We saved a lot of time on planning man hours, women hours, and a lot of time was left for decision making. So whenever we had our integrated meetings, it was much faster with the tool. So that was one of the very first and obvious benefits for us. And then as time went by, we decided to evaluate it somehow, in terms of money and all the benefits which we actually generated, if there were any, through the implementation. And we realized we were focused, I think, exactly on the three things which Andrew and Leonid were mentioning. In part, we unlocked a lot of opportunities for our business growth, and in 60% growth, which we achieved since implementation, it was a big part of, let's say, enabler from supply chain side, and one of the big ones was planning side here. In terms of customer service, a lot of development went on the customer side. Lots of modern trade retailers grew more and more aggressively in the market, and of course their demand for service increased. We realized that once we start measuring it, and after implementation of Anaplan, we went actually 15 percentage points upwards in service level of the main suppliers, due to reduction of out of stocks, making sure we do have right plans on SKU level in a very specific channel, and sometimes even with a specific retailer. We have a joint business planning process with the largest retailer in the country. And again, the last but not the least, with 2,000 SKUs, 10 warehouses, rapid business growth, it was and a lot of novelties that our partners really wanted to introduce in the growing market. It was very difficult to analyze and keep up with the stock levels. So we had quite large write-offs, which usually came from certain events on specific suppliers, or stuck in the warehouse, in the regions in the warehouse where it was not moving. So I think we've reduced it more than twice, and right now we're at a very We're still above zero, which is not desirable, but we are much better than we used to be. And for us, it was even this sum alone for the first 12 months. It more than paid for our implementation license cost and actually the entire project cost. Okay, so that's basically in a nutshell about us and our experience on the journey. I think we keep going after the first implementation, which the results which you see here on demand planning. We went into more efficiency on supply planning. We've improved our operations in terms of transfer to different locations on the stock. So hopefully next year we're going to be looking at the same numbers. I think we'll see even a better picture here. So that's basically what I had to present. Ready to take your questions and in some more granularity. Thanks, Leonid.
Thank you, Philip. And I remember the time when we started, and it's really great to see the result. Yeah, now, yeah. And I should say that you mentioned regarding like the implementation and the ways, how we work together. How teams work together. I think this trust and collaboration is one of the like key factors for the success for the implementation. And we really enjoyed to work together with Balton team and keep going. Yeah, I would like to ask a few questions. The first one is about the collaboration and work, the cross-functional work in Balton. So, do you think the implementation, or if you see the impact on the way how people communicate and collaborate, having the Anaplan implemented, did it change anything in this space?
Oh, I would say there were quite some changes in the dynamics. Before Anaplan implementation, we had some best practices on the planning side. We started to do integrated planning, so at least there was a good communication within the team. However, once we moved to the new way of working, including Anaplan, I think it really helped everyone involved to get away from lengthy planning meetings, looking at the details on what and how is planned, in order to unlock some time for decision making. And this understanding of the team between the planning, the commercial, supply chain guys, I think it brought a good vibe on the process. So really we started spending much more time on value added decisions, which I believe was also one of the enablers to the results we've seen on the slide. So the process became much easier, not only for the planners themselves, but actually for the entire involved organization. And I think now it's we kind of got used to very easy access to data, very quick check on, okay, where are we in terms of stocks and plans and where it's all coming from. I think people appreciate getting rid of a mechanical job and spend much more time on crucial business decisions. That's, to me, was the biggest change in dynamic.
Thank you, Philip. Another one is about the implementation process itself and adoption to the technology. Have you observed what were the challenges in taking people on board to and using a new tool? Any challenges in the area of training, and either any advice you would share with anyone who considered to implement solution as Anaplan?
Well, I would say, generally people very resistant to change, and I guess our organization is not an exception in this sense. However, we're pretty lucky. First, that people already, realized there are a lot of changes happening in the country and in the company, and it was our, I think, third consecutive new soft and new tool, new platform implementation from the ERP and warehouse management system. So in general, there was understanding that it's a difficult process, but chances are it will work in the end. But in this sense, for us, most important was to find ambassadors in the organization. in order to drive the project and actually facilitate enjoyment of the tool, because otherwise it will always fall into trap of finding errors and and pitfalls and rather than benefits. I think we were pretty lucky in this sense. And then another quite important thing, which was not there from the beginning, and I think it went from discussion with your team and with Anaplan, when we realized that, okay, we have a chance to build our own small competence center. I think people were pretty much excited in order that they're not only the ones who will implement or use the table, they will actually form some knowledge inside the company or maybe even outside if it comes. So I think it helped a lot, and now people were and are really proud not only on the implementation itself, but I think we drive a lot of processes for our partners, even for the big companies that present here through us, or we run the show for them. But we like to show our processes. We're ready to share tools and platforms. I think it brought a lot of another level of satisfaction to our own people, our own employees. They are there on the front, so they keep the keen on development and keep going forward. So I think those recommendations would be a really good ambassadors inside the organization. Try to get more than than just a user experience. So people like to bring value, and create a competence center was a big thing for us.
Thank you, Philip. The question that I'm really curious to hear the answer from you is about planning overall and the role in the organization. So the question I wanted to ask you is that when you see the dynamic currently in the market and you see where you go as the company. So what is your expectations as a CEO from planning as a function in the process overall? So what you would like to get out of it and how you see the progress in the future?
Well, for me, I want to have enough products in the right time and the right place. I don't want to have too much product stuck in the balance sheet or written off. And moreover, I want to have. I'm more keen on the process itself than just the plan, because to me all the plans will be wrong anyway. It's only a question of how wrong they will be and how you will react to this. So if I have a good understanding and good tools in the organization on quick reaction in order of market change, supply disruption, whatever, that will lead to what I want to see. I want to see good stock level and a great service level to the customers. That's as easy as as this, I would say.
Thank you very much, Philip.